Welcome to the Conspiracy Theory Hogcast, where we sloshily try to decipher the secrets of reality like a bunch of frat boys with a little less ass play. I'm Matt.
I'm Jiggling Joe.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Casey.
All right.
I enjoyed that intro very much.
All right, so tonight we're talking about Elisa Lam. She was a Chinese Canadian tourist from British Columbia that was down in LA on a road trip that she planned and mapped out by herself, where she met her demise on February 19th, 2013. Oh, no, I guess that's the day the body was found. I don't know when she actually died, the actual
I think
date.
she was in there for like 3 weeks.
And
So 3 weeks
Yeah,
before
there's-
that. So the day before New Year's is the day that she perished.
and cue the Roger Troutman California Love.
And can we play some Eagles Hotel California, please?
Californication.
What's crazy is like no one knew she was dead, and everyone complained about the water tasting funny.
Oh,
yeah,
dude,
that's
I know.
how they initially
that.
discovered it. Which is
Yeah.
kind of weird in a sense, you know, with the water situation.
Just oh god, does this water taste like taint to you? Yeah, a little bit.
Well, it's fucked up because okay, well let's get into some details about her.
I don't want to be that guy,
yeah.
but I guess it tasted like Aquafina.
Let's get about
God damn.
Oh.
But anyway, so on her trip to California, she traveled alone. You know, she was there. She was 2 days, and she decided to check into the Cecil. And she
Wasn't it called? Wasn't she tricked because on the thing it said on Main or whatever? Like they because they were trying to redo it or something. Or does that come later?
I think I'm not sure because I know the Cecil. It was
Went
that
to
was,
the cheapest one.
yeah. So I think it was Stay on Main. I think it turned to Stay on Main like in 2011, and that was like those 2 floors where Stay on Main or whatever.
Yeah, the
And,
two
and
like
above it was the first 2 floors were like long-time tenants.
long-term
That was
tenants,
part of- and then I think like 4 to like 6 were like the Cecil, or not the Cecil, but the Stay on
Stay
Main.
on
And
Main.
above that was like the Cecil Hostel, and then above that was other. I think the remainder of the floors
where people jump off
like hotel hostel spots. But so she was originally
Like, if you want to know where the real party was, you'd be on the top floors.
Well, when she was originally, like, when she got her room, she was originally on the 5th floor in a shared room, but her roommates complained about her behavior that she was doing. She kept leaving notes saying, go home, go away. She would lock the door, and she would require a password to come in.
Yeah, this is weird, classic weird kid shit from school or something like that. A weird kid would do to you at school. She's just like leaving notes, go away.
But, no, I guess she was locking him out of the room and telling him she
And
needed
they
a
needed a password
to
and
get
shit.
in.
Like it just seemed like something a weird kid. Like if you went on a field trip with one of the weird kids from school, that's the kind of shit they would do at like the motel. It's like, get away from me.
But what's kind of weird about that, though, getting those accounts from what she was doing, you know, but outside the hotel after she went missing, there was a lady that owned a bookstore, and she said she was very outgoing, very lively, very friendly. She was shopping for gifts for her family, got in a conversation with this lady about a book that she wanted to buy, but she said she couldn't carry it with her because it's going to be too heavy on her travels. So it's just kind of weird how like there's like that different like opposite spectrum, you know, that she was exhibiting.
Yeah.
Well, that's
she's,
a
bipolar. Right?
Yeah, bipolar, type 1 bipolar or some shit.
We got some reverb.
Oh, is it me?
I don't hear anything.
But it was like a type 1 bipolar, some shit. Like it was like, you know, like the crazy one where you're like seeing shit.
They said at the time of her autopsy that she wasn't taking her medication.
Yeah, there was low
taking
traces.
medication,
She
but
was-
it low
she
dose.
wasn't.
Low dose.
it was a
which
low
means that
dose.
She was
Okay.
slowly. She was
Yeah, okay,
weaning
she wasn't
herself
taking-
off of it.
Okay.
It
That's
was
what it is, yeah.
And her sister even came forward and said that it was not the first time. Like, I mean, she's seen stuff before. They've had to hospitalize her.
So if the bookstore owner said that, you know, she wasn't fucking going nuts or whatever, then what the fuck happened in the elevator?
Well, so like Have you guys heard of the elevator game?
I have not.
Yeah, so that's what a lot of people speculate is
All right, I
something
just sent the link
supernatural
for the elevator game for the group for
Yeah.
everyone.
of the
Do you-
elevator game.
Yeah, I've never actually heard of it. Like, I've never heard this explanation of that video or whatever the fuck she was doing in that
Mhm.
elevator.
It's a supernatural route. Is
So-
that
Is
playing
it
the
similar to
elevator
like
game.
Bloody Mary or Candyman?
Yeah.
Let me
Yes.
explain it
I
to
believe
you.
so.
Okay, so Casey's got something on it.
So, it's one player only. You got to be by yourself on the elevator. You have to have a building that's at least 10 stories high, and equipped with an elevator capable of reaching all 10 stories. Now, so you can begin this at any time of the day. Doesn't matter. Choose a building with the elevators. You can only use the up button to do so. If you press the down button, or if the down button is there, you're not supposed to touch it. When you enter the elevator, you must enter on the first floor, and you must enter alone. Do not proceed if anybody else is with you. So, you press the button for the 4th floor. When the elevator reaches the 4th floor, do not get out. Instead, remain in the elevator and press the button for the 2nd floor. When you reach the 2nd floor, do not get out. Remain and hit the button for the 6th floor. 6th floor, stay in. Hit the button for the 2nd floor. 2nd floor, stay in. Hit the button for the 10th floor. When you get to the 10th floor, stay in. Hit the button for the 5th floor. When you reach the 5th floor, a young woman may enter the elevator. Do not look at her. Do not speak at her. She is not what she seems. Do not get out. Instead, remain in the elevator and press the button for the 1st floor. At this point, 2 things will occur. The elevator will begin descending to the 1st floor, or it will begin ascending to the 10th floor. If the elevator descends, the ritual has failed. Do not proceed. When the elevator reaches the 1st floor, exit as soon as the doors open. Do not look back. Do not speak. Exit the building. Do not look back. You could try again another time. If the elevator ascends, the ritual is succeeded, and you may proceed. When you go through this point, though, this is your last chance to basically back out. If you want to back out, you press the button for any floor in the building besides the 1st or the 10th floor, and you must cancel before the elevator phases the 9th floor in order. Oh, this is like before you get up there. Before you get to the 9th floor, you have to cancel. You got to get out of there.
Yeah, just fucking bail.
Yeah, and then once you reach the 10th floor, you choose either to exit the elevator or remain on board. If you choose to exit and the woman entered the elevator on the 5th floor, she may take this opportunity to ask where you are going. Do not answer. Do not look at her. Exit the elevator without comment. Now look around. Do not lose sight of the elevator in which you arrived. You will, it is said, find yourself in another world, and although you may see many things and notice many details, you will know you have arrived in this world. You will know this for certain by one indication, and indication only. The only person present in it is you.
Huh. And what happens if you type in the Konami code to the elevator?
What?
The Konami code. It's their famous code.
Metal
they do.
Gear.
But then
It's
there's a
like
whole thing to go
Video
back
game
to.
code. Up, down, something.
No, dude, that's fucking trippy.
But that's wild, right?
Do you think she was playing that game? Like the video I saw, I don't know how many fucking floors she went to.
Well, we don't know what floor she ever went to because she was only on the one floor. But can we just talk about that?
Oh, was she? It didn't move?
No, that elevator door stayed open the entire fucking time she was there until she went out of
She's
frame
just
and
getting
disappeared.
all
Is the
fucking
only time
kooky.
when it closed. That whole time.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I just hit my mic. That whole time that she was up there, I've never seen an elevator stay open that long in my entire life. And she was that elevator stayed open.
I mean,
the whole
this
time.
is an old building.
But she was walking in and out, doing weird
Yeah.
things with her hands, like. And,
Yeah, when it did look like it was kind of like slowed down, and then like that choppy part where the elevator kind of like went from whatever to like a quarter,
Like I've heard that the video was edited and all sorts of shit. People fucked with the framing and the timing and stuff to make it look spooky.
Yeah, I guess they said there's at least a minute and a half worth of video missing.
Oh, really?
Yes, that has been that was cut out. Whether that's from the police department cutting it out or The hotel doing it. I don't know.
And we're sure that this woman didn't possibly get on the bad side of the Clintons, right?
Anybody get on the bad side of the Clintons, you'll be waking up with a fucking noose around your neck and a suicide note next to you saying how you couldn't bear to live anymore. Fucking assholes.
Just mysterious footage, missing of when someone disappears. It sounds very Clinton-y.
That's fucking
Art Clinton.
God. Get Epsteined up in this bit.
Oh yeah.
Hey, she was of age.
Sorry, Clintons, we don't mean it. You can go back to not listening now.
You guys ever just joke around? Like, I'll talk like when my Google Home's plugged in and stuff. I'll just be like randomly. I'd be like, "What are you talking about, Bailey, my wife?" I'd be like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "You can't assassinate the president. You're gonna get arrested if you do that."
No, I don't do that.
I just do it because I just.
You're definitely on a watch list.
And
yeah, but you know how many people on Facebook make death threats to the president all the time?
well, yeah, no, but I just want to see in the off chance like Secret Service does show up at my door.
About the camera footage thing, like, because I was like, damn, because it does look like it's kind of like faster and slower in parts, but
Yeah, and it is jumpy,
I've
but
also-
like, hey,
yeah, also, like,
anybody
my
who's
camera
worked
that-
with a place with cameras, that's
yeah, it happens. That's what I was saying. Like, I brought this up in our group message.
not.
Like, I was dicking around and we were playing around on the camera. Like, I kicked a fucking wet floor sign, and in the video footage, you see me walk by a wet floor sign and it just disappeared. Like, it's
Dude, you
just-
should post it
and
on
we were-
YouTube, but I bet you
and
get
we were
hella
just
views.
laughing.
So
It would be funny. My assistant manager actually has it recorded on her phone.
yeah,
But also our camera goes in frames, like it's like a slower frame.
well, yeah,
thing, so,
yeah. You probably work in an old place. I mean, you're in a somewhat old type of
Yeah.
town.
And it's like
I'm not gonna
those.
say
It's,
where,
it's
but
got those
yeah.
black dome cameras, but it's like they're always pointed at
Dome?
one spot. Like dome. There's no cameras outside either. So if anybody
So-
wants to come rob my store, the address is. No, I'm just kidding.
So,
No, I went outside one time and there's drunk dude, like he was about to rush at me. He's like, "Fuck, dude, I ain't even on camera. I'm about to drop this dude on his ass, and there's gonna be no witnesses."
So, what do you guys think was going on with that elevator? We've gone a little bit into it, but I want to each of you, like, personally, what do you guys think?
I think it could possibly be altered, but I mean, again, because like
Do you-
old
do you think
camera
it-
things do have
Yeah.
fucking whatever.
If
believe
it's
that at
not altered,
first-
do you think it's something paranormal, or do you think that there's just footage missing and it's
It could be a
possibly
possibility.
some
I mean,
kind of like killer,
that
whether it be
fucking-
a serial killer, some contract killer for some unknown reason? I don't know. Maybe she's a spy from Canada. I don't.
Oh, I
fucking
really think it's just it's an I really just think it's a glitch in the matrix here.
know.
I'm
Oh
just
yeah.
playing. No, I mean, you know, it'd be like a cool idea to fuck with if it was some kind of paranormal thing because so many people have died there. Just like
Yeah.
a whole
I've
fucking-
seen edits of the videos where they've made the fucking lights flicker and stuff like that. There's multiple fucking edits of the video, but I also saw the one in the documentary, which I think they had unaltered, but I'm not sure because that documentary kind of sucked.
Yeah, do way too much of like it's like who are these fucking people? Like
They're
who the fuck are you?
self-proclaimed
I laugh
experts.
so
I mean,
fucking-
it was
yeah, I laugh-
entertaining, but it was
yeah,
like
it was entertaining.
there's not a lot
but
of facts in it.
Well, that's when I was
the
watching
one
it,
guy,
and I was like
I
reading,
laughed.
and I was like, I'm getting more information about reading about this than I'm getting in this fucking documentary.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
was like, dude. All I
They
got was a
went
good
too much
laugh
into
out
social
of it.
media in it, I think.
Yeah, and so like that one guy who was like, we did not. It was bad news. We did not want her to be found dead. It's like, well, no shit. Who the fuck says that? That's like one guy's just like, yeah, it's like, hey, Derek, they found her dead. You owe me $50, and then you just hear this guy crying in the background.
You know, it's kind of fucked up, but I bet you
That's
cops,
proof
I
of the
bet you
year.
detectives actually do take polls, like, oh, I bet you she's alive, I bet you she's dead, and they probably like, oh, we'll put 100 on it, you know. I
It's
bet
so
you it does
ridiculous.
happen.
Some guy made like a Facebook page for it. It was just like, she was like, I've been following the case or some shit. I don't remember. It's like she was like a sister to me. And it's like,
yeah.
motherfucker.
That's- Like, really? Okay.
Really?
Wait
No,
to
your
get your
sister,
fucking
your
social
sister.
media points, you fucking bitch.
That's those like people that they don't hang out with anybody but their computer all day.
I'm a firm believer in the supernatural, so I like to lean towards like
Yeah.
I want to
yeah, we
say
heard
I'm,
that.
I'm, I'm a big
Oh,
believer
really?
in the paranormal. Not all supernatural, but like a lot of paranormal stuff, ghost
Yes,
shit,
definitely.
demon shit. Yeah, why the fuck not?
Well, I mean, I got a scar on my throat from a ghost demon thing, so
That was
shut
your
up. You
grandma
know that's
sick of
from your
shit
pimp.
as a kid.
We both went for a different joke. No, but continue, Casey.
oh, I was just saying, yeah, I'm a firm believer in the supernatural,
You think-
paranormal. So
You think that video though, that thing in the elevator? Do you think she was playing the elevator game?
yeah, I think she.
You think
fucked
it's
up.
paranormal? Some ghost shit got her. She was possibly possessed.
Yeah, she went out on that floor, but she didn't follow the rules. She looked back, and she fucked up.
So you think it is the elevator
Yeah,
game?
and then
Yeah, because you're not supposed to exit the elevator.
when she got
Like,
well,
Yeah.
you can exit the elevator once you get to the 10th floor.
well, yeah, once you get to the 10th
But then
floor,
you're
but I mean,
supposed to
you're
be
not
in your
supposed
own
to.
world.
You're not supposed to look around at different. Like you're not supposed to. You're supposed to stay on the elevator each floor you go to, and then when the bitch comes, not to look at her, and then like you continue that till you get to the 10th fucking floor. Like don't exit until you get there, and then you step out.
Well, you can bail. You can bail. You can exit before you
Yeah,
get.
you
You
can
can
You gotta
bail
bail
on
bail
the
before
ritual.
you hit the 9th floor light.
Oh, is that how it goes?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
want-
her
I want
elevator
these guys-
didn't move.
But-
From
Oh,
what
well,
you,
how do we
from what
know
you told
there's
me.
name on YouTube?
how do we know she wasn't
there
already
is
on
actually-
top? And
Hold on. Go ahead, Casey.
I was gonna say, how do
Yeah,
we know
she
that
was-
she wasn't on top already? And that's like
on top.
maybe she got off on the wrong floor. She lost, like she forgot what count she was on, and she lost her nerve. Or
Well,
something,
yeah,
got
she did
nervous.
get off on the wrong
See,
floor.
She got out.
if I were to attribute this to the paranormal, I'd say she was seeing a possible apparition that didn't show up on camera, or because it was said that in the hotel she was acting fucking nuts.
But-
so possibly possible possession or lack of sleep from being harassed in her room by possible paranormal activity.
Did you guys notice that she when she was in the elevator, she where the buttons were, she kind of crouched up in that corner, literally.
Yeah, and she was
Yeah,
also
she was hiding.
glancing around a shit ton.
Yeah,
and
she
Yeah.
just acting fucking paranoid, which goes in with the mental health thing. But it's like,
Yeah.
if I were to
Because,
attribute
like,
it
yeah.
to something paranormal, I would guess either possession or being followed and
9/10
just
the law,
extreme fright
right?
at the same time.
Yeah.
Huh?
I said that's 9/10 the law. I don't know if that's the accurate number for that.
Matthew, what do you think about the elevator situation? What are your thoughts on that?
It is pretty crazy just watching it. Yeah, she's kind of like skittish when she's inside the elevator. She's very paranoid. It is weird. I don't know how legit the video is. Even the CCTV one, how the elevator door does stay. It's like constant.
Yeah.
And what's the coincidence of her being crazy at the same time malfunction?
Well, and
the
I see
device.
that other thing too.
Oh,
one of
that's
the
a good
buttons
point,
that
Matthew.
It looked like she hit was the hold door button.
Yeah, I
Oh.
saw that thing
But-
too.
Oh,
But
maybe she did.
She hit
I-
every button though. She was hitting all those
Yeah.
fucking buttons though. So even if she was
But
hitting
I'm
that
pretty
whole
sure as
door, I'm
how-
sure she hit that closed door.
I'm pretty sure how
Oh
mine and Matthew's parents were able to fuck in the hospital elevator.
Oh my god.
my god, did they really?
Yeah, they really did.
Nice.
Matt, what were you saying about the paranormal stuff? Because I forgot. I'm sorry.
Paranormal.
Oh, yeah, I kind of fell out of it too.
Were you
so-
agreeing with it? Were you thinking it's not paranormal
no.
or?
Not entirely sure because I don't want to rule out mental health. Because that
Well,
was
yeah, I
definitely a
definitely think
factor.
that
If
could be a
anything,
problem.
That's
Yeah.
my main.
crazy. I mean, the reason why it makes it a good conspiracy is the fact that the water tower should have been locked.
Yeah.
They should have been locked.
For sure.
She was naked. She went there. I mean,
Oh.
maybe she undressed and then
Matthew,
she
Matthew,
dove
let's
in
get into
there.
the water tower stuff in a little bit. Just what do you think about the
Yeah.
elevator?
Well,
itself?
the elevator. Well, I want to say it all together
Oh,
in the
okay, okay.
sense that her
Her dying is a causality of the possible elevator thing, anyways.
Well,
so
yeah, she was tripping. Obviously, what it looked like.
I mean,
so
me and you
if-
have
if
tripped
the elevator
pretty hard
stopped-
on shit, and we've never jumped in a fucking water tower.
I also my
We have jumped in a small space naked together. That's supposed to be
Small.
locked.
No.
But yeah.
Also,
So
guys-
what? The elevator was stuck open at one floor. She was being super paranoid, and then last they saw of her and then she ended up naked in a water tower that was supposed to be locked. So
Yeah.
I don't know if it's some kind of if
What is your
it's like
theory,
an
though?
it could be possible that the operator was in on it. Maybe, I don't know.
Do
Who
you think
knows?
it's a theory that she was murdered by a person or
Could
or
be.
or is it? What do you feel in your gut? Is it a
Someone that
straight up
was
person murdered her? She went swimming because she's crazy. Or
it could
it's
be
a
it
fucking
could be a
ghost
mixture
thing?
of both. So I don't want to say I don't think it's a ghost thing, but what if it's possible that someone that has the insides of the hotel that was able to maybe manipulate the
person
elevators,
who would have the key to the fucking water tower.
and have a keys to the water tower and manipulate the elevators, stop at a certain floor. Not saying it that's probably what happened, but she got in there somehow. Maybe she was on drugs, and maybe it was the drugs plus the mental.
What if this
illness.
hotel is like fucking H.H. Holmes hotel, right? With a fucking killing field.
I do also want to say
Bunch of
that we're not
traps and
saying
shit.
any hotel
That body
staff was
was
involved in
intact.
this either.
What was that?
There was no bruises or cuts like on the body, so it's like it's highly improbable that someone was strong enough to drag that body up the tank without damaging it at all.
Yeah,
Like, I
but you would
scratch
see
myself climbing ladders all the
you would
time.
see like stress marks on wrists, like bruise marks pulling someone's body up.
Mhm.
You would see him like
Yeah.
Not if
drag-
they put her in a fireman's carry.
Okay, but okay, let me
I mean, I work construction. I throw a fucking bucket of cement over on my shoulder and climb up ladders all the time.
But skin is really like fragile.
yeah, I
Like,
know, but like
you
she
just
was
brush
a
it, like,
very
it's
right.
small
break it.
person.
I feel like
I revoke my statement
Why?
because that makes sense. Maybe it wasn't malicious. Maybe maybe it was just craziness.
Well,
But
also,
what
people
I'm
don't
saying
seem to
is, like-
understand, and we've seen this several times. People tripping out and just like literally watch the guy down the south side swing a katana around at enemies that weren't there. Like
that you know of.
bipolar.
Like
that we know,
let me tell
it's
you
the ghost thing.
Let me tell you, Joseph,
He played
what
the
if
elevator
what if this
game. He just
motherfucker
doesn't
was
know
on
he's back yet.
shrooms, and he was seeing the actual world of how it actually is, and you're over there like, oh, you're being you're ignorant to what's going on around you, but he really sees what's going on. He's trying to save you, and you're like, oh, look at this crazy motherfucker. He's like, I'm
Yeah,
saving
like
you,
Oscar
Joseph.
Isaac and Moon Knight. But,
The chances of that happening,
no,
are slim.
No, but
with like bipolar,
what I'm saying,
like borderline schizophrenia shit, like
Yeah.
anything where you can hallucinate and see shit.
I think that mental health did have a play in this. But what I'm saying is, what if this is like a handyman, someone who does?
But I did do
construction,
maintenance, and
someone-
I wasn't carrying no heavy sacks of shit up and no ladders. I tell you what,
But still,
we got subcontractors to do that bullshit.
Yeah, but like, what if though? Like, you can't rule it out entirely.
Oh,
'cause
yeah,
there's
yeah.
no
It's
bruises.
Like
You
the
can't-
thing said, it was like to get to that, you would have to tightrope on like pipes and shit and climb up things just
Well,
to get her in
if
that
you
specific
climb it,
one.
But what if he opened it and just dropped her off the side into the hole and just happened to get a
Yeah,
a
but if
fucking
he
swish?
hit the switch, I don't see
I
somebody
mean-
swishing a whole body.
'Cause it
like,
was-
through that.
It was off to the side. There was a building up above the water tower, a little top thing. So, like, if he opened the thing and then fucking just went up on top of there and tossed it.
Kobe.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but what was weird about that?
I think it's highly unlikely because there is probably a small percent. I don't know the percentage. A small percentage of like victims that don't have any marks on their bodies from
Yeah.
any type of struggle or being tossed somewhere.
Here, listen,
because
check.
killers aren't that careful.
Also, what if he moved the body, like poisoned her perhaps, and she, or
Well,
I
that
don't
would have
know.
showed up in
What
the
if he moved-
toxology.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, the only
Yeah.
thing that
But I was
toxicology
gonna say,
reports
guys-
showed is that
She drowned,
it was
correct?
making
That was
her
what's in the autopsy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
it
weird part
actually
about that is
was-
that
She-
she wasn't
she
face
drowned.
down like most drowned victims were, but the fact that the water is constantly going down is a
Up and down,
possible
yeah.
way she was flipped over. But usually there's foam found in the mouth or something that would indicate that they drowned
Well,
to death or something like that.
the-
Foam in the
What
The
water.
reason
if-
why they said that she drowned was because when she went in there, the tank was full, right? And so it was where the hatch was. But as people were using the water, obviously the tank was lower, and she couldn't reach the hatch, and she eventually died from fatigue because she couldn't swim anymore, and she just drowned and
No,
died. And her
don't they have
puzzle-
ladders or something in there?
No, they don't.
Most water
No?
towers do
No,
have
there's
ladders
no-
on the inside in case.
How
of
do
that.
people
Not
clean
this
water
one.
towers?
They said not in this, yeah, in this thing that the only way she would have been able to get out is if the water level was up high enough for her to reach up and pull out. Like
They had
there
to,
wasn't a ladder inside of this
if
thing.
you look in the Facebook group
They
that we
even ripped
have,
a
I
hole in
sent a
it that
picture of
drained
the
the
inside
water.
of
What
the
was she doing
water
naked
tower. Yeah, well, that's
in the water
They said
tower?
that when hypothermia kicks in, that like a lot of people that die of hypothermia
clothes-
rip their clothes
her
off.
clothes
And
weren't
shit.
inside the tank though; they were on the outside.
Yeah, where were the clothes?
No, her clothes were underneath. They were wrapped around. Like she was naked, but her clothes were in the tank. The same jacket she was wearing was in the tank.
Oh, I thought they were on
Like
the
her
outside.
clothes were.
But
They
her
were
cell phone was
intact.
never
They
found
weren't.
or anything.
I maybe not that, but her clothes were intact. They weren't ripped or shredded or nothing. Her clothes are perfectly fine in there, which is also weird. If she ripped them off because of hypothermia, fucking like fit, you think she would have ripped or shred something out. So that's a little weird.
What I don't get about the whole her
But this
body.
is what FBI agents were saying. So I mean,
Yeah.
or LA, whatever.
They could be covering it up.
What I don't get.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is only going off of the people who
Off of
did-
the information they've given us.
yeah. So I'm saying this is going, but I mean, I've never looked into like hypothermia things. They just said this is common with hypothermia.
Well, yeah, because your body gets so
You start
cold, it feels
ripping-
like your body's
Yeah,
burning.
you feel like you're on.
Yeah,
you
until
feel
you
like you're on
rip your
fire. So you
clothes
start
off.
ripping your.
I mean, if
clothes
you want to
off.
go like fucking really deep into conspiracy shit, this could have been a fucking sacrifice, for the elites in fucking LA.
Oh, yeah.
I think the only conspiracy that makes any
Satanic
sense
sacrifice.
would be the TB one. Like
Yeah.
that one
What's
makes the most. That's the tuberculosis one, and because the fact that there is a what is it, Casey? A vaccine that
there's
is
a
her
TB
name?
test called Lam
TB test.
Oh
Elisa.
fuck! I forgot about that. Yeah.
Elisa. Yeah.
But before
Which is fucking.
we get into
that would be
though,
crazy.
Joseph, I just want to say it's kind of weird, like with the hotel, with her body being in that tank to begin with, it's just weird because
Yeah.
the
Shouldn't have happened.
the day after, because she would
Like they were
she would
saying,
check in with her
her-
family every single day, and then obviously she didn't check in that day. Her family was worried, called the police. The police went over there with search dogs. The only room that they were allowed to search per their because they didn't have a warrant, they didn't have probable cause of any crime being committed in the
They
hotel.
picked up her scent next to the fire escape
But
too.
they opened. Well, let me get to that. But they checked her room, got the scent, whatever, blah blah blah. They search the hotel, just like walk the dogs up the floors, and then they get up to the roof, and there was no scent of her at all on the roof, and they said the hatch was
that
closed. But they said the hatch was closed. But then when they found her body 3 weeks later, the hatch was open and her body was
Yeah,
in
and they
there.
said that the person who
See,
found her had left it open.
The person who found her said
But
it was
here's the
open.
th-
Is why he looked at it to begin with.
Oh,
But the
well, no, yeah,
officers
he said it was
in
open.
question-
That's the
yeah,
thing too.
the
If she
officers
jumped
that-
in,
officers
if she
that were
jumped
like-
in and couldn't reach the hatch when she jumped in, said the water level
And-
was low enough
and I-
because it would
yeah.
take time to lower the water level. So she would have had to
Yeah.
jump in and then not reach it immediately.
They make it sound like
So,
the hatch
it
was
would-
super heavy and everything. It was
It
probably.
was 20 pounds.
No,
They
probably
said
just
it was
a piece of
20
tin.
pounds.
Oh, they said it was 20 pounds. Some engineer
Yeah,
online on Reddit said it was. He said at most that
20 pounds on the hinge is not a lot.
He said at most
Yeah, that's what I
that
said. Was
the weight was
because I
like
used
40
to do
pounds.
30-pound boxes, sore as fuck.
Yeah,
and I didn't
it's probably
understand-
just a tin cap, just lightly fucking.
Yeah, but you know how hard that would
tack
be to
welded
be in the
together.
water, pull that lid and pull it up over you to close that. That would be a hard ass
If you
feat.
can, you just push it and then try to get your hand in there and possibly crush it, but it won't hurt that bad. But you're getting out.
No, I'm saying
you
when
can
you
reach
when you
the
go
lid.
in to close it, like say she climbed in and went to go close it, you would have.
It would be harder to close it because it would probably be up or behind.
Yeah, so that's what
Then
I'm
it
saying.
would
It'd be hard for her,
yeah.
and especially she wasn't a like a big woman. She was
Yeah,
small
she was
and skinny,
small.
so I'm sure she didn't have that much strength. I'm sure she had enough strength to pick up 20 pounds, but not like
Yeah, it's especially a
treading
hinge
water
20 pounds.
and-
That's not a lot of weight.
treading water and trying to pull a hatch door closed. I don't think she would be able to do it personally, because I feel like that'd be
Bro,
hard for me to
if the
do.
hatch is straight up and down, one she has to reach the hatch thing, which that's
Well,
a
what
pretty
if
big jump
the
if
hatch
the water
laid all the
level's
way
low.
back like
And then
this?
if
laid all the way
and then
back
that's
this.
my next thing. If the hatch is laid all the way back, one, you got to get up on top of it and then get leverage. Hold yourself up high enough to get leverage and actually yank that thing up and over.
Yeah, if it was at a 90, no problem.
Yeah, 20-pound
here.
metal act.
But again, at a 90, it's up higher, so it would
Yeah.
still be something. You'd have to try to
But
reach it,
you could
unless
hit the
you
wrong
possibly
corner
hit by the hinge and knocked it down.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure I was platform another 10 feet above the roof requires ladder access. Each tank is also covered with a small 20-pound metal access lid.
Yeah, a small 20-pound metal. That's a fucking tin lid. That's nothing. 20 pounds does not weigh that much.
Yeah, so
I don't know. I carry around a 20-pound.
They were saying there's no way. They were saying there was no. People were trying to make it seem like
but in an instant, 20 pounds is not that much weight. Like carrying it around,
You guys,
dude, 100
literally
is nothing.
Any retail job requires you to be able to lift 20 pounds. I watched old ladies that 20 pounds is the bare minimum in most places. 50?
I think
without a team lift. I mean, without
I know fast food. You have to be able to lift 50 pounds on your own by yourself.
Well, that's because of the soda packs.
Yeah.
The syrup packs.
Oh,
are like
the
those are like 50 pounds or 25 or so. They're heavy. Yeah.
Shit.
But like, yeah. Shout out to everyone who's worked fucking food service.
Yeah, no. Fuck that.
We feel for you. It sucks.
We all came from there.
I
don't think.
I got out quick. And with that, I think we should take a break.
Hey, everybody, if you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let us explain.
Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit podcasts right from your phone or computer. When hosting an Anchor, you can distribute podcasts on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. Really easy. And best of all, Anchor is totally free.
And you know what? It's what we're using, and we're really enjoying it. It's helping us get out there and, get known. So if you guys are really enjoying this, check out Anchor. Maybe get your own podcast going because, we were just a couple of dumbasses, just sitting around talking about conspiracy theories, and then we decided to make a podcast. So get out there and do your own shit.
So if you bros, sisses, or anybody up there on the Himalayas want to get into podcasts, just download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Again, that's anchor.fm to get started.
It is anchor.fm, and if you are really enjoying this and possibly want to make your own podcast, get on that. And don't forget, we're on Good Pods too, and shout them out because they've been glorious to us. Welcome back, everyone. It's Mike, Casey, Matt, and Joseph, and we're talking about Elisa Lam. We just got done talking about whether her going into the water tower had anything to do with paranormal or any suspect, or whether she just went in there because she was fucking crazy. But you know what? Here's what I want to know. Do you think that if this was foul play, it had anything to do with the fact of the previous aspects of the Cecil Hotel and all the shit that went on there, or the fact that it was on Skid Row, all the criminal elements that was in the area? What do you guys think?
I just want to say one thing that I thought was hilarious in that one documentary was the cop that was patrolling the fucking area and said he's seen a guy bite a bird's head off or something's head off.
Oh no, bro!
It was Ozzy.
He was mistaken. That was Ozzy.
Yeah, this guy.
I laughed so hard at that. He's just going by and this guy looks at him and just like.
What I don't get,
metal guy.
Like
yummy.
In their investigation, there was no explanation as to how she got into the tank in the first place. Yeah, it was a light like a 20-pound fucking lid's not shit, 20 pounds, that's nothing. But how did she get into the tank in the first place? There was no explanation given. Given the doors.
Obviously, she climbed like a spider monkey.
Well, the doors.
Well,
I blame Paw Patrol.
Didn't the fire escape go all the way up? To
well,
the
I was
roof?
gonna say the doors.
It's too late to roll out Paw Patrol.
Like the manager of the hotel even said you can't lock up fire escapes. They're for fire.
Well, they said the doors and stairs were locked to get to that point to where she would be able to get to the stairs to get out on that balcony.
Yeah, but if she went on the fire exit.
But they said any attempt to tamper with the alarm, it would have sound. There was a fire escape that she could have used to access the roof, but that still begs the question is how she got into that tank. I mean, personally, like, and I saw the picture. I think it's reasonable for me to get in that tank, honestly. But I'm climbed up.
I'm telling you right now, if I weigh
according to the official story, she had mental health problems and she climbed in that bitch on her own.
But then how she closed the lid is what I don't get is how she got that lid that was laying flat.
Exactly. It was closed when people found it. That's the weird thing. That's where the conspiracy has its birth.
That's but again, that was the cop's story. Like, not the person actually found her story. Like, a cop said that in an interview, and nobody else got that story.
Cops are the ones who do the investigations on the crime scene and take the notes. So
before the body was found,
we kind of should kind of believe them, even though cops are kind of like, you know.
Yeah, but then if
cops
it's that case,
people,
when they messed up
there's possibilities of fuck-ups.
Yeah, but when they messed up the cause of death thing, then it's like, if you don't believe they actually messed that up, then you can't believe that. If you believe they can actually mess it up, or they like whatever, then you can believe that she opened that fucking thing herself.
This whole thing's a bit fucky all the way through, which is why
LA. It's also fucking LA, and like,
which is what I want to get into. Like, the area where that hotel is, it's on Skid Row. It's in the worst. One of the
but
worst
it's like
what
the manager said. It's like,
as far
if you
as like
call
drugs
the
and crime
cops,
go,
the cops aren't gonna show up right away. If you watch any TV show
Yeah,
about big
it's on
cities, I
Skid
don't know
Row.
how accurate they are.
That
They're like,
manager.
oh, if you call the cops, you have about this much amount of time before they show
That
up.
manager was
Like, there's so much shit that goes
whole
on.
fucking thing, dude. She was sus as fuck.
And then, like, I even
She was
heard that it's
sketchy?
like police get chased out of Skid Row. Like, they don't.
Did you guys see the way that, like, she was explaining stuff? She's like, yeah, he would murder people.
She sounds like
somebody. Like, this is how. Like, if you look at me,
she sounds like somebody that
like,
took their job way too fucking seriously, so they're blind.
Yeah, I don't know why we let him come into this hotel. He used to come upstairs in his underwear, and he'd go up to the top of the hotel and just start murdering people, and there was nothing we can do about it, you know.
Hey,
that's
I just want to say,
was talking like in that fucking thing.
Yeah,
like,
very calm. But that's what I'm saying.
Sounds like someone that her brain has been tampered with.
Yeah, like
a couple times.
You've had been in cahoots. Like, what kind of establishment's gonna let some serial killer just walk free up and down?
Again, I'm gonna mention Doctor Who once again because I'm a big fucking Whovian. There's an episode involving the silence in season
vacuum.
I think in season 5, I think, involving the silence, in which there was a guy who ran an orphanage who got his mind wiped by the silence multiple times, and that's how he talked. Was like very straight and just like, because his mind got wiped so much, like he was programmed, you know. And that's like, yeah, the way you were talking, it sounds fucking.
They gave him Asperger's.
What if this hotel is a fucking front for the government assassinating people? I don't know. It's fucking.
You guys, we've all lived in the same town, and we've all seen weirder things than that on a daily basis. Like,
maybe
literally.
You guys have, but I don't know if I have. I've seen drug addicts, sure, but like this shit.
Dude, like I said, there used to be a guy that would run around with a fucking katana down Southside swinging.
Yeah, I know, but like, this has a conspiracy for a reason. This is an innocent fucking woman who just
now.
Disappeared.
What if, guys?
The same people that started those
she was having
are the same people that said an innocent man was a Satanist and all this stuff, and he murdered her. And he's like, well, I got stamp cards
because of metal, but he wasn't even at the hotel during that time. What were you saying?
What if she was having an episode and someone coaxed her into these things?
Yeah, like, that's a good theory too.
Someone coaxed her into these things while she was vulnerable and having an episode.
What if it was someone who manipulated her because she's on Skid Row, a big drug capital?
Possibly.
That thing in her toxicology report. But the thing
those were ruled out. But who needs drugs and alcohol when your brain when you're crazy? You do things on impulse. You do other things.
We should say crazy.
What?
Look, there are two things with bipolar term. There are two things with bipolar.
There was someone coaxing her to do it. What if someone metaphorically held her hand through the process as a joke and then it ended up real?
What if it wasn't a joke? What if he's just a sick fuck?
A sick joke. A sick joke.
But hey,
like,
did you guys see it
with that type of thing? Look, do you guys know that?
What was that? Hold on.
Certain people cannot take like acid and shit because you can cause somebody to become schizophrenic by taking acid because it could flip a switch in their brain who already is like borderline whatever.
Yeah.
That can actually
my cousin
happen.
did a bunch of meth.
If somebody like her who is like a full blown fucking somebody with bipolar disorder, they see things. It's already been her family already said that she has seen things that she's afraid are trying to kill her or things that are telling her to kill herself. she's been hospitalized for it.
Yeah.
And then like even on her
It-
Tumblr thing, she's saying like she basically like voices how she does not like medication. Like
She has
and
a
all that stuff.
Tumblr. She has mental health issues.
Yeah, no, and she wrote on it like a diary, like that. This is how she connects with the world. That like this was her life. Was like
she
the
had,
internet.
she had a
kind of stuff,
blog
like,
before Tumblr as well.
Yeah.
yeah,
She
the,
was
well,
always
she has
well
blogs
into the
on.
She switched to
internet.
Tumblr because Tumblr became more popular platform is what it was.
But
Yeah.
again, like mental health is like people don't. They type in bipolar. It's like, oh, your mood's just switched. It's like, no, dude. There's different
Well,
things of it. You can be in euphoria and
That
shit
is
for like
the
a week, and then you can
that-
just
yeah.
lay in bed and want to kill yourself and become like depressive. Like I
Yeah.
battled through not bipolar stuff, but I battled through things where I don't even want to get up in the morning because it's like the first
I
thing in the
just went
morning.
through a
It's
bit
just
of
like,
depression. That's why we skipped
Yeah.
a fucking week.
so she would lay in bed and whatever, and she would.
That's gonna be
like,
for a
do all
filler
these
episode, guys.
things.
That's
Yeah.
good.
But she fucking, I'll fill your guts up. But
Fill
she
my guts
fucking
up.
like, if she
That's
stopped
your
taking her
brother, you sick
medication and
fuck.
started having
Do
episodes,
it. Do it.
then that would make sense. I mean,
Now.
again, it's
Yeah.
creepy looking in a fucking old,
Yes,
tiny
it is.
looking
It
fucking
is very
recording
creepy.
of doing a Doctor Strange fucking casting spell. But like, also, I've seen weirder shit just on the streets of like my hometown of just like random people doing it. Like walk through
Yeah.
Southside and tell me you won't see that 4 or 5 times. One time, me and
Oh,
Matthew
yeah.
were driving by the laundromat
But-
and there was a guy naked just laying there. Like
The
it
one
was
with
just,
the pool
it's like-
tables?
Matthew, you remember which one?
Yeah,
Chase
I
Bank?
remember. No,
By Chase?
yeah. It
Yeah, the
was
one with
by
the pool
Chase
tables,
Bank.
Yeah. Yeah. That one has some
well,
weirdo.
Well,
yeah.
what I thought was
The-
weird
the-
though was like even in their autopsy report, they did a rape kit and they said the rape kit was processed, but they never released any results of said rape kit. Sorry, and
Yeah.
they said
Where'd they-
She raped
Wait,
because she
wait,
was
where-
found naked.
well she's
Where'd they buy this kit?
they said
Was
that
it
she
a
had
kit?
pooling of
bought
blood
from Bill
in her
Cosby?
anal area and
Oh
the
my
hole
God.
was prolapsed.
She
Wait,
was
what?
ass fucked?
Well, it could have
Possibly?
been that, or it could. Well, what about the drain on the bottom of the fucking thing? Like, what if her butt got sucked down into
Oh.
it?
There's actually a
You know, it's fucked up, but you know that could have happened. You know, because that's why else would she be facing up?
You mic went out for a second.
Yeah. Joseph's mic went out. What were you saying, Joseph?
there's actually a book of a short story of a guy who lost part of his intestine because he would.
Oh,
stick his
yeah. He
ass
sat on the drain. Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys, side note.
Oh,
let me tell you this-
they touched on that in Always Sunny, and then Max sat on the
let
drain.
me tell you the story that I saw that
But,
someone posted on this thread the other day. It
go
involves
ahead.
prolapse.
Story about how my life got twisted upside
Yeah,
down.
no,
now,
so-
like, dude.
Yeah. fucking
So
go.
this person they
I
said
ended up in Tank on Skid Row.
this
Sorry.
this gay guy, he posted a thing. He was like a little like Twitter thread, and he's like, yeah, I ordered this new suction cup dildo to like a
For everyone not watching our video conference, he just did jazz hands. So go ahead, Casey.
Anyway, he bought
God.
a suction cup dildo and placed it on his door. You know, and he went to go try it out, and it was a monster. He said, so he had to back up on it.
Sorry,
I've heard
sorry.
this.
Can I pause you real quick?
Yeah.
Inside or outside?
What do you mean? Oh, inside the door, inside the bedroom.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say there's
Anyway.
probably new. I know you know how they have little knockers on the
Yeah,
outside.
yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was a newer thing.
So
But go ahead.
so
Little door knockers.
So they
Go
said
ahead.
they were backing up into it, and the door opened up inward, and their grandmother came into the room, and she opened up the door, shoved that
Naturally.
dildo all the way up that fucker's ass, and then she would like the grandma saw the boy saw the grandma. Shock happened. The grandma had like a stroke or something as she was closing the door, so she ripped it in, ripped it out all in one like instant, and prolapsed butthole, and grandma had like a fucking stroke or a heart attack or something, and then the ambulance came and they wanted to explain the story, and then he was like, yeah, the ambulance was like crying, laughing so hard because of everything that happened.
Well, who'd they revive first?
Well, obviously the grandma was out, just the other one just had a blown out butthole. But yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
You're both out for the
this is a
count.
prolapse story. Just
All right, so we're gonna take a quick commercial break. Not really commercial, but it's gonna be a break.
Hey, everybody, follow us or like and subscribe on all platforms that you guys use. If you have any requests or comments or concerns, you can message us at Conspiracy Outpost with an S at the end of the post. It's Outpost. Now you can message at Conspiracy Outpost at gmail.com. That's the best way to get a hold of me. If you got a hold of us on any of the other platforms, it's always going to be one of us talking to you. We're never going to hire any social media rep or anything like that. It's always going to be one of us. We also are going to delegate more responsibilities. So one of us, like Matthew, will be controlling Snapchat and fucking Twitter. I'll be controlling Facebook and something. Joseph will control something. Just spread it out. Spread it out. You know what I mean? Or you get on our fucking Discord, get on our Patreon and support us, you guys. If you support us, I only have a couple tiers out right now, but I think it's 5 and below. Just a couple bucks that gets you on our Discord and that gets you talking to us directly. You can DM us all the way, boy.
So, say with all that information that, she ended up in there from foul play. Do you guys think it had something to do with Skid Row or the reputation that the hotel had before they tried to rebrand?
Oh, dude, this hotel is fucking wild, man. I can't even believe that they were still able to be operational. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I mean, they based a whole season of fucking American Horror Story on it. So
me and Matthew once lived in a red tag place. We once lived in a red tag place, and when the cops figured out, it's like, yeah, you're not supposed to be living here. And like the landlord never got in trouble for it. Like shit like that just goes by all the time. And that's like that is like fucking rich shit compared to the shit that happens on Skid Row. Compared to that hotel, that's like fucking.
Yeah, but what about?
I mean, not where we lived. I mean,
that was living at the hotel. Did you see about that, Joseph?
What
about the Night Stalker?
Yeah, that's the thing in the past. Like, the Night Stalker used to live there, and he used to show up like covered in blood and shit, right?
Yeah, he would have his bloody clothes in his hands, he would take his clothes off and be covered in blood in his boxers and walk up, and nobody would say anything.
Yeah, so
Richard this Ramirez hotel is on Skid Row, which happens to be a just like spot where all the Skid Row, for anybody that doesn't know, that's not from California. It's nothing but fucking drug addicts and criminals.
That's the other thing too.
He stayed at this behavior. He stayed at the Cecil Hotel.
Yeah,
where he tortured, raped, and murdered people. But he was only paying $14 a night for his room.
Yeah, that's the thing. This place was super cheap because of where it was at. And they gave even cheaper prices to the fucking vagabonds that were there.
There was a guy
the people that were living on Skid Row.
He said anywhere over the 6th floor he wouldn't go because it was so dangerous. He's like, that's where people went up to get murdered.
You guys, but that's the other thing that makes no sense when people make that fucking argument about the whole.
I mean, even
acting,
today,
whatever.
Like,
why didn't you? Whatever. You guys are covering something up because of sporadic behavior. That's obviously a red flag. And it's like, well, no, because look at every other red flag. We have mentally disturbed people that live here.
Yeah.
Like that's not going to raise a red flag to them because they see it all the time. But people want to like be contradictory. Like they want to contradict what they say with that shit by saying, why didn't they say anything about that? But then also it's like, it's crazy. They let this other person.
This place is a fucking psychopath haven. That's
it's a fucking insane asylum / place for people that are broke that have nowhere to fucking go. But it's like also the other thing that like I wanted to bring up before with all that stuff is like nobody wants to believe she died, and it's mainly fucking people on the internet that know nothing about the whatever other than what other people posted online. I mean, they're like, this is a conspiracy. This is this and that. But it's like also
we all lived in one of the meth capitals of the United States. Actually,
yeah, we fucking know how drug abuse and everything else is. So it's not a fucking surprise.
Yes, we're in California and we're in one of the meth capitals. Y'all can figure it out. But it's like we can have
I didn't go home for like 2 years.
Not the major glimpse into Skid Row because LA is obviously way more populated. That's the worst of the worst on Skid Row.
Whatever.
But it's like we have a taste of all that fucking bullshit. Where we're at.
We have a fucking taste.
Or
like
where we were at.
This is why the hotel went into demise, Joseph, because in 1924, that's when the hotel was founded, but the Great Depression hit, and at that point, it became a budget hotel, and then that's when all the all the riffraff came in. That's when all the sex workers,
Yeah,
drug
now it's
dealers,
getting
homeless
gentrified and
people,
everything else,
murderers.
and it's a low income place.
Yeah,
Like it's
that's when they all came in. They say did you guys see that? They say Skid Row is home to over 10,000 homeless people.
yeah, but what people don't understand,
Sounds like Chico.
what they don't fucking understand, these people aren't even allowed to, like, this is literally like, it was like modern day ghetto, like an actual definition of a ghetto. You weren't allowed to leave. They had cops
Yeah.
patrolling borders. They didn't want them out of the fucking specific area.
I mean, when you hear
And
about
it's
the drug
fucked up.
addicts that fucking run down the
So-
street with a fucking fridge on their back, that's this place.
They said
Yeah,
that
Well,
they,
also, you see that where we're from
there was
too.
there was
Like,
was
dude, one
one to
time I was
three
walking through
police
Southside and I had a lady say, "Hey, walk me up the road, whatever." And I was like, "Okay." And she kept trying to explain to me why, and it made absolutely no sense. What she was spewing out, the same shit that I hear all the fucking time, is that like someone's following her, someone's whatever. And then she offered me CDs, mixed, like burned CDs of shit that I've never even fucking heard of. I was
And
like, "I'm fine." She's like, "Are you
BJs.
sure?" Like trying to give them to me like they were fucking the value of gold. I had this
She was
bitch that
like,
came into my fucking
I
store.
give you CDs
in
and
a U-Haul.
BJs. He
This
didn't know
girl-
what the alphabet of this
Look,
bitch was speaking.
This
but
lady came into my
he-
store every fucking day in a U-Haul. Every day in a fucking U-Haul, spurting off that the FBI has been alerted since she lived in New York that she has been being followed, and she's freaking out constantly because she is constantly being followed all the time. And she would get a couple dollars in gas, which never made sense. And I can't tell my boss, it's like, that U-Haul has to be stolen, right?
Hey,
Because
hey,
she
hey,
can barely afford
don't
gas.
you judge her. She might have found something out about the Clintons.
No, because
could be
she still
legit.
rides around in my town, but on a bike now because somebody fucking took that
The
U-Haul from her.
man stole her
Gas is
U-Haul.
pricey.
No, dude. So this group of people that could not speak English, they spoke Spanish only. They were in my store for about like 10, 15 minutes. They were getting coffee, donuts, roller girl items. Then she comes in and gets gas and she's fine. Then out of nowhere, when she walks away, she turns back around to me and she starts telling me, it was like, yeah, something. I had to whatever. I need to find a good place to live. It's like, they keep following me. They keep following me. And she starts yelling at these guys and they don't know what she's saying because they don't speak English. So she's screaming at them and they're not even looking at her. They're just talking because they have no idea she's fucking even saying anything to them.
Dude, that must
And
suck.
then she's like, they've been fucking following me for whatever. It's like, don't act like you're not. Stop fucking pretending. The FBI knows. I have called them.
what if
She's yelled
that
at
was the
my-
feds are like,
one of my coworkers saying that
get out of here, get out
she
of
yelled at
here.
one of my coworkers saying that he did the same thing, but she went out to the pumps and started yelling at everybody that pulled up, saying that they are following her. I've had somebody that said they need to get to the Oregon border because because they are sending people after them and they need the whatever. And the cops came and they talked to me about this guy because he made us call the cops for him because he didn't feel safe and needed an escort to the Oregon border. And he was saying all this fucking shit. And the cop asked me like did he threaten you or anything? And I was like, no, he just said that they're after him and everything else. And asked like he asked me where I was from and everything.
It's
Like he kept asking
no.
me personal questions. But then the cop was like, yeah, he seems to be having a whatever episode. I don't think he's well. We'll stay here until it. But
Going on.
the cop stayed out there until and helped him call one of his friends. One of his friends came, and then the guy like drove and followed his friend out of there. Like it was just like the dude was out of his mind mentally. And this lady, now she comes into my store with a bike, and she doesn't flip out, but she's always doing weird
Get
shit.
that
still outside of
lobotomy
the
done.
store. I had somebody in front of my store who literally she had her shirt up and she was picking at her stretch marks, trying to pull them off.
Well, she's out
It's
there
like mental
sick,
health is a
obviously.
big thing, and that was another big thing. It's like these people on the internet that live their lives in a fucking safe, secured place. They're like, oh, all this nefarious shit happened to her. It's like, oh, but you're from the suburbs somewhere, right? Like you don't know what
Mental
like real
health
problems
is-
are, and like that was a point that was brought up in that documentary. Was that there
That's
were
a
people out there
pandemic.
that died on Skid Row that had mental disabilities, but they didn't get any coverage for it. They died in
Well,
weird ways too because
hey,
they're mentally whatever. but
Not to
nobody
be
cared about that.
political, but thank you, Reagan. But
Yeah,
pushing
but
past
it's
that.
like,
Hey,
but everybody wants to say that Elisa Lam was like, oh,
So-
it's this conspiracy. It's
Hey,
like what?
hey,
Because
Joseph-
she wasn't homeless,
Joseph,
she
it's
couldn't
not
have had
that-
the same mental disabilities. You know how many people died in weird places? how did this guy get from one trash can to
Joseph,
another?
I feel
How
like
did this whatever?
I feel like
Like
it's not like people are like they're hoping that it's some conspiracy. I think they're
no, they are
no.
though.
I
They
feel
still
like
don't believe it. One of those guys was like, I had somebody go and film her grave and then touch it for me, so I felt at peace.
no. I feel like
And it was
people
like,
just
what the
hope for the
fuck?
conspiracies because they don't want to hear the worst scenario that actually happened.
No, because people don't understand mental illness because
Well,
these people have never had to
not
deal
just
with
the
it.
mental illness aspect of it. Like if she died or killed herself or whatever, they don't want to see that. They just want to see like they want to see like some.
they want it more complex than what it really is.
Because they want closure. They want something to be
They
not
want
totally at
closure on
fault.
whatever thing. But again,
Yeah.
people that study mental illness and
They
stuff,
don't want
they're
human
like,
fault.
how many of those people in Skid Row have died in weird, strange, bizarre ways too? But also people that are born with
Hold
that
on.
imbalance
They'll
in
just-
their brain.
Yeah, but they'll
Chemical
just overdose on
imbalances,
the street. And on Skid
They're-
Row, that's not a problem. People fucking die on the street
but
all the
not
time.
everybody on.
they
yeah,
just
but
go
not
clean it,
everybody
but-
on Skid Row
But Elisa
started, like,
Lamb
whatever.
was not a known drug user. She did
This
not do
isn't about-
recreational drugs.
Yeah, but it's not about drugs. It's about mental discipline.
health.
Again, that was literally one of the biggest points. People want to assume drugs before they can assume that somebody is schizophrenic or somebody can have delusional thoughts.
But Joseph, but that leads you to believe like say that Matthew had the same issues that Elisa Lam has, right? And would you let him travel across like out of your country into a
from
place
Canada to LA.
all by himself?
No, but
Yeah, exactly.
But
So
also-
why if your daughter, your sister, your sibling, your fucking family had that issue, why would you let that happen? Is what I want to know. Like,
Okay, but
I mean,
Amanda-
like my sisters don't have
but
that
Amanda-
issue, and I'd be like,
hey.
hey, if you're going across the country, you're taking me with you.
mental illness stuff hits a lot.
Guys,
closer
but
to
I'm
let's
home
not
because
overprotective
everybody-
let's
and
not
I want
shame
you
the
to
parents.
no,
But-
Guys, let's not
yeah.
shame.
no, I'm not saying
I'm not
that at
shaming the
all,
parents,
Matthew,
but
at all.
also this, Casey, your situation. Look, why did Amanda Todd's mom
Maybe.
know that Amanda Todd? Who the fuck is that?
I guess the girl that drank that
Oh,
bleach.
drink bleach.
Yeah. Why did Casey Anthony's mom like know that she was unstable and then let her kill her kid and put it in a shoebox?
She got away with it. That's why.
The point is like it could be different things, but it's like honestly like and that's a big point is like people do not take mental like illness serious enough.
I do.
Because it's like she is not the first person that some weird bizarre death has happened to due to their own fucking mental whatever.
Well, hey, Mike, let me ask you this. These are all the like popular known theories of her death. You want to hear them?
Yes, sir.
So these are all the leading theories surrounding her death. So, death by accidental suicide, obviously.
Yeah, that one's we've discussed.
Yes, accidentally drowned.
That's what
Obviously, you know that's kind of coincides with
that
suicide.
goes into suicide, but just
Um,
like accidental.
She was abusing substances.
That didn't show up in the autopsy, though.
Yes.
Yeah,
Murdered
that one's
by
a little-
somebody.
That's one I could possibly
Tormented
believe.
by a ghost.
Another one I could believe.
Have you guys heard of the film Dark Water?
Yeah, that's the one where they said was almost identical story. To
Oh, yeah,
the,
yeah.
the
So
situation.
there's a conspiracy
where it
that
was the
someone
little girl was
reenacted
killed
that
in a
murder
fucking
for that because of that
Yeah.
movie, and that was a 2005 film, Dark Water. She opened a door to another dimension doing the elevator game.
Less believable, but I can get into it.
And the most like definitive, like the most one that made sense to me.
She was horny for God.
No,
so she
the
decided to
theory
do
that
this.
like I can fucking like right now, like if you're like, oh, what was your theory about Elisa Lam?
TV.
Yeah, is that TB theory? Because let
The
me
TV, yeah.
break that theory
one
down
is
for you real
the
quick.
only one.
Let's
That was the only one
get a
other
full
than-
breakdown of that theory right now.
Let me break that down real quick. So in February 2013, there was a TB outbreak in downtown Skid Row, and public health
We
officials
call that the skid mark.
had launched a new
Right in
effort
dead
to
center.
contain the outbreak. So they searched for the 4,500 people who may have been exposed to the disease. Scientists were sent to LA to determine. They were sent to LA to determine why the disease was spreading and how to prevent it. Right.
I like when he speaks in
So
tongues.
in the 80 cases, there was 11 deaths related to TB that were homeless living in or near Skid Row. They say the test subjects to the new TB drug. Oh wait, they said there was a test subject to the new TB. Oh yeah, so they say that she was the test subject to the to the new TB drug that they're about to roll out. The behavior that she was exhibiting inside the elevator was a side effect to the anti-TB meds, and the TB test that they have is called Lam Elisa.
Yeah. In the world we live in today, with all the coronavirus conspiracies and possibilities that it wasn't all kosher, I could totally believe that.
That's
that
the one.
It was that it was a possible drug trial by the government, because honestly, fuck the government. You can't trust them with shit. I mean, like, every instance of someone's like, oh, it's a false flag, it's like, well, shit, maybe. You know what I mean? Because the government does shady shit all the time. So if this
but we
was a
usually
fucking
test
drug-
it on kids in third world countries.
This was on Skid Row. This was on
Bill
Skid
Gates.
Row. Good place to test.
Yeah,
They're all doing
that's
drugs
basically
anyways.
a fucking third world country. You know, the United States.
Yeah, Bill Gates wasn't
But for
worried
this,
about
like,
it.
they test this thing, and this one person happens to die, and they're just like, oh fuck, this person wasn't a drug addict. It's like, well, we'll name it after her.
Okay,
You know? Well, I don't know
real-
if that's how it went, but like, seriously, who honestly believes the government with anything at this point in time, where we've been proven multiple times that they fucking lie and that there's so much stuff fucking happens.
I'll be right back.
Like,
when
me
they
and
were
Casey, I know for sure. Wait, Casey, I know for
Casey.
sure. Me and Casey are just like, fuck the government on any point. Period.
Yeah.
I have a question for you.
I think it's also it's too absent. Like it's
Let's take a quick break before that, because I gotta pee and Casey has to pee. Is that okay,
Yeah.
Joseph? Matt?
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, let's
Remember your
let's
shit,
cut to
please.
a break real quick. When we come back, Joseph's gonna spill some fucking knowledge.
So you know what? We're sorry for leaving at such a fucking tense moment, but let's get back to it, and don't forget to fucking like and subscribe. Conspiracy Outpost. Let's go.
No, I was just gonna say the same thing I've been saying. It's like, yeah, you can't trust the government, but also at the same time, not every single thing is a government conspiracy.
Was Elisa Lam's death by suicide caused by accidental drowning, misusing of substances, murdered by somebody, or tormented by a ghost? Or was it somebody obsessed with the Dark Water movie that came out in 2005? Or did she open up a portal to another dimension? Or was she also subject of the tuberculosis case? So what I think, it probably was more or less mental illness that fucking was the demise of Miss Lamb. But
Is that your final opinion? or do you have
no.
something
On the
to add
same
to that?
case though, like looking at the videos and everything, I still feel like there's a paranormal aspect or a supernatural aspect, you know what I mean? But I don't want to say that definitively, because I don't want to disrespect, the dead, that passed away. I don't want to take away from her significance of her life, saying like, oh yeah, you didn't die because of some mental
No,
illness.
her life was definitely significant. It's just there's a lot of controversy surrounding.
But I don't want to
mainly-
take away from like, oh, her accidental mental illness was like some sort of paranormal thing. Like,
Yeah,
I don't want
it's
to. I don't
like-
want
Yeah,
to say like,
mainly
that's-
people
that-
online who are like, there's more to it. They don't even know.
yeah, like I don't want to take
perspective.
away from like if that actually was the problem. Like if she like had a mental illness, I don't want to take away from that. But at the same
Mental
point,
illness is a
at the
problem in
same
America
side,
right now.
I want to say like, because I'm
Problems in
all
America,
about the
everybody wants to,
paranormal.
like, put their
I've
noses in
experienced the
shit.
paranormal, and
As have I.
with seeing this, like I hope for the paranormal, like maybe this,
Yeah,
like,
not that
something-
she was just broken.
something crazy just happened. Not like, oh yeah, she was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, had a mental breakdown.
Well,
Like nobody
Yeah.
wants that to happen to somebody. Everybody is always looking for another excuse.
Well,
And
yeah, especially since like when it comes down to mental illness, it's like it's as a family member of someone who's gone through mental illness, you can't help but just be like, oh, I should have never let them do that. It's all my fault. And so you kind of just want to hope that it is something else, just to kind of alleviate the burden on the family.
yeah, and
Casey, I just want to say, don't worry about it, because if we live in a simulation, there's no such thing as paranormal shit here.
well, yeah, exactly.
It's all fake.
If only we lived in a simulation. Those of you who believe it, yeah, good for
Did you guys watch
but,
that video I sent to our Facebook group?
with those
Well, about the bus?
like, two women?
Yeah, about the bus.
I saw it, yeah.
Is that kind of funny?
You
to
guys ever
think
hear
about?
about the two twins?
Like I don't
girls that would
believe
do
it,
the
but like
seances?
you know.
Yeah, it's but like, hey, let's get back to the matter at hand with Elisa Lam.
All right. Well, with the Elisa Lam, like
She did.
Joseph, what are
she
your
is.
thoughts on it?
Because Casey
I
just
already
said
said
his
my
thoughts.
main one, like, so the second closest thing would be that TV thing. Maybe there could be something to that, but I mean, really, honestly, like, I think it all comes down to mental health. I've already like said my piece about that. I know that personally because it is a big part of my entire life of growing up.
Yeah.
Between myself and like family, like it's just
And friend.
I've seen things weirder than that from people spazzing out from mental disorders.
Yeah, but do you think it's the cause of death is mental illness?
Yes, that's what I was saying.
Okay.
Like that.
So
It
you
was-
think she
the
just
fact
went for a
is,
swim
like,
one night because she's fucking cuckoo cuckoo?
No, because that she thought something was chasing her and her life was in danger and she could
Oh,
hide.
so she
in
tried
a
to
water
hide.
tank.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that's the main theory is that
That's a,
one or two things she wanted to kill. Like she was told
yeah.
to kill herself by something that wasn't there, or that something told her, or something was chasing her, threatening to kill her, and she was running from it that wouldn't leave her alone, and she thought that maybe on the roof and up in the water tank I'll be safe and I'll get out when I can.
Yeah.
And realized she couldn't get out. Hypothermia kicks in. Her body feels like it's on fire. She rips her clothes off. And then maybe thinking that the weight or whatever the clothes is weighing her down, that she can't just calmly float like anything
So,
like that.
I agree.
You believe in the mental illness, and then that the paranormal was slightly psychosomatic, right?
Yeah, that
I
mean,
I agree.
I've seen the shit before. I've watched people play golf by themselves with golf clubs and sticks and beat up trees and shit like
That's
that.
funny,
and
but
yell
that's
at the trees.
terrible,
It would
Joseph.
actually at the
Yell at
Urban
the
Manor.
Lorax.
At the Urban Manor, there was a guy that did that on a daily basis. He would yell at the trees. He would sit there. He'd pretend to play golf. He would whack it.
He
with
had a
a
green
golf club.
thumb. He could
And
speak
he
to the
would-
trees. He was like the Lorax, except
He
for
was
on
the
meth.
Lorax, but it was all in his head. I am
No,
I am the
psychosis.
Lorax. That is how I was bred, and everything I
No,
do is
but,
made up in my head.
Matt, I'm glad you were commenting on this, because you being Joseph's brother, you probably have a similar
We come
outlook.
from
But
the-
do you have
the-
a different outlook other than Joseph?
I think it is definitely a mental health issue. One of the faults, and if anything is suspicious, well, I don't understand the mechanism of elevators too well. Shit was open a long time.
It's a pulley
Maybe
system.
there, yeah,
No.
maybe, well, yeah, maybe there's a button that holds that shit and freezes it in place. but at the
There
same
was a
token-
button on the
in
elevator
the same,
that held
yeah,
the doors
maybe it
open,
does, yeah.
and she hit
in
down the
same
line all the way
token,
to it several times.
I mean, if we want to get weird about it too, like like why was the shit unlocked? You know,
Yeah,
the water tank unlocked.
the door to the water tank. Yeah,
Because it wasn't
I-
common back then for them
yeah.
to be locked. Like
I-
a lot of people didn't lock
I
them
agree
because
with
that
that.
wasn't an issue that people had.
But yeah, it
Well,
seems
no, I
more
agree
like
with that
mental health
completely.
to
It
me.
shouldn't have been
And at that
unlocked,
point,
but-
if
Mental
there
health.
were
Continue,
people that
Matthew.
didn't have mental illnesses that were doing it beforehand, that's just natural selection. Not with her. Mental illnesses like that, when you feel like you can't escape and you're backed up against a wall, that's a common fucking thing. It's why people get put in straitjackets and fucking, well, wrongfully fucking tortured in fucking asylums and shit.
Yeah,
Like, but you know,
But I agree. It could have been mental illness, but Matt, continue with what you were saying.
Um, just going to agree pretty much for the most part. It's a mental health issue. Um,
Hmm.
I believe so because
So you think she just? So to
if
clarify,
if
you
there was
think she
any
went up?
malicious intent, it would be just direction. And so I
Like
mean,
she
she
met
was.
someone who was just like, "Hey, go in the water tower." That what
If
you
there
mean by
was any, yeah,
direction?
if there was any malicious intent, or
Yeah. I
it would
I
just
could
be
totally agree
direction.
with that. Both you and
But
Joseph
but
on
other than
that
that,
aspect, where it's just
mental
like
health
mental
is what
health.
pushed it.
Yeah,
Mental health
mental
is
health
what
played a
guided her
problem,
ultimately.
played an
Yeah.
aspect in the fact that she was, either one ready to go swim in a water
Mhm.
tank, or two extremely suggestible. I can agree with that aspect completely, but
Mhm.
honestly feel like kind of the crazy person in the group this time. Usually it's Casey. Where I
Crazy,
feel like,
the woke one, you mean?
yeah, for those that agree with it, and hey, if y'all fucking agree with the fucking wacky ass shit, that's why we're here.
You know what?
Fucking get it.
Like,
Send us your fucking theories. We want to hear it. We want to hear the wackiest theories possible.
the Elisa Lam thing was probably a tragic accident, but I want to lean more on the side that it was something paranormal. That's what I want to feel. I know it's probably something to do with the mental
And that's what
health.
most of those cyber sleuths wanted to feel. They were like, this isn't enough fucking drama into it. Let's exploit this death.
My thing that I believe,
There could be a
which is
paranormal aspect
unfortunate
to it. I don't want to
because,
roll that out, Casey. I was just joking
yeah,
when I said
there
that.
could be
I'm
paranormal
just saying
shit,
it
which is
sounds
like,
like
yes,
mental,
Well,
but
yeah,
but
Joseph,
I
I'm
don't
not
have.
disagreeing with
I'm
you.
not a Ghostbuster, so you know.
I'm just saying, like I know mental health is a real thing, like mental disabilities,
yeah.
mental health, like our
Yeah,
thing,
and trust me, and
because
you,
I've been
there are
through
weirder cases
some
than
shit, Joseph, you and
there are weirder
You
cases
and
than
Matthew
that.
have literally been at my side when I've been going through some shit,
Yeah, and there's weirder mental health.
I know, like this, like it's not made up, it's not depression's not fake, it's not like blah blah blah, That's what I'm saying.
It's not
I'm
even
not
about
saying
the
I'm
fake
not
thing. Is people
dismissing that. I'm just
misconstrue,
saying the
and
cases didn't have to be that paranoid.
bipolar
Weird.
disorder. Bipolar disorder is actually misdiagnosed by a lot of people that have schizophrenia. Like it's misdiagnosed. Like people that have schizophrenia are labeled as bipolar. Like it's
But as
not.
far as this goes, I kind of feel like the nutter in this group,
You're not British.
because, well, no, what I
I
lost.
relax my
Okay,
competent
British TV.
ties. No,
But I feel like the nutter in this group because honestly, it's like, hey, um, yes, I could believe all the stuff you guys said, but I seriously think
she fucking played that elevator game.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about being
I
human,
don't think
guys.
it's the elevator game,
We
but
can
I think
all
there's
we can
some
all believe
foul
what we
play.
want.
The fact that she had the prolapsed anus and then
I'm telling you, it's
the
that drain
door
at the
was
bottom
open and
sucked
shit
her
like that.
butthole
It was
out.
just like, it just
Oh, you guys
seemed,
also didn't know this? People
I
that are
could
diagnosed with bipolar disorder also like to shove carrots in their asses
yeah, okay.
with ranch
Definitely knows
because that's
that's
what's crazy
he's
about it.
been diagnosed.
No, but with this aspect, it's like, I don't know if I watched too many serial kill documentaries or what.
Thank you guys for listening to us on this Elisa Lam episode. I know we were making light of a dark situation, but no matter what, mental health is an issue, and if you are ever having any kind of thoughts or anything like that, just go ahead and reach out. No one is going to judge you guys.